Travis Wingate, so as expected, being locked up by the church in their civil prison for 9 months with no exercise. Yesterday's extended trips caused me to sleep for 8 hours. So that screws up today with the necessary trips. So we'll torture you with a bunch of the LDS Church Lies videos, I guess, instead. Because YouTube is turning into TikTok. And as such, any of my older videos will never be seen. And so as a person commented last night on one of my videos, they didn't understand it and asked if there was a video that could explain it. And yeah, there are lots of videos that explain it. The only problem is that YouTube will not allow you to watch them. And it's worse because that, combined with the YouTube Mormon employee who fixes the algorithms to keep you from seeing my videos, you have to actually type in my video title to find them. It makes it even harder for people to find my videos. And as we had witnessed the previous week, when the YouTube Mormon employee was gone on vacation, there are lots of people who are all of a sudden finding my videos. Oops! So, I shouldn't have to explain everything over and over again, and yet I have to. And so I can't start talking on a subject matter if you don't even know the prerequisite information. Because the prerequisite information is LDS Church is false, LDS Church is anti-Semitic, Joseph Smith was Jewish, Book of Mormon, Jewish. And if you're like, what? Exactly. Exactly. There are prerequisite knowledge that every viewer must have. And it's second wrong that I have to be in this handicapped position because of YouTube. Because they don't know how to make money. And they think they know, and they're trying to experiment, and it's just backfiring. But anyway, so as Stephen Colbert's episode or show last night, as I saw on YouTube this morning, as I was having breakfast, he turned up his upper lip and then started speaking in character. Dad! Every single viewer knows exactly who he's impersonating. He didn't have to say the name of the character he was impersonating. He didn't have to give any kind of context or preliminary lead-in. He just does the character. Everybody knows it. Everybody laughs. Because people follow him. How many people are following me? Or are you just coming to a video and then going, no, I don't understand this. This doesn't make any sense. He's wrong. And I had another person comment this morning, or I saw it this morning, on the video I did during the halftime sleeping episode, in which I had come across an email of lightning striking the Payson Temple. And so in doing some research, found that the Moroni statues have been struck many times. He's been black-faced. And if you don't understand satire, if you don't understand Mormonism, if you don't understand my channel, I'm not being literal. With that video. And yet a person wrote a comment, religious psychosis. And I'm not sure, because the way it was written seems to suggest that it's me. But the only reason for putting religious psychosis for me is that they think that I'm being literal here. That it's actually God who is... And they have no clue what satire is. They have no clue about Mormonism and Mormon history. But every single Mormon should know. It should be a major video hit. Should be getting multi-millions of views if it weren't for the YouTube employee screwing with the analytics. Because it's hilarious. Because Mormons are racist. And why are they racist? Because the prophets are racist. But the prophets are racist, and as such, turned Joseph Smith's Jewish Book of Mormon. And if you're still going, what? Hello, have you never read it? It's right there in verse 2. He told you in verse 2 how to interpret the book. And how do Mormons interpret it? As a Christian. That's satire alone for a lifetime. But that's why the church is racist. Because they took the Jewish prophetic latter-day scriptures of Joseph Smith and made them literal history. And in so doing, now the Book of Mormon is racist. Why is it racist? Because if you consider it literal history, it's defying the laws of physics. White men don't turn black for wickedness. That's a racist thing to accuse and say. And people just don't get it because they use Christian interpretation and take it literal. And that's because of Brigham Young. And Brigham Young even used his change of the Book of Mormon. And remember, Brigham Young was a part of the 12. After his coup of the leadership, he became the president of the 12. He was supposed to go around and tell people about the Book of Mormon. That was his mission. And he failed at it. Purposely failed, maliciously failed. This isn't satire, this is literal history that the church won't tell you about. And so Joseph Smith is talking about him when he's saying evil disposed militant people trying to destroy his church. He's talking about Brigham Young. But Mormons don't get it. They don't want to learn it because the church is true. What more do they need to know? And again, we go back to the easy target for satire. And so, it's really that simple. Mormons screwed up Mormonism and are the butt of jokes because of it. And they don't get it. They don't understand why. And they just lash out and name call other people for satire and criticism. They don't get it. They don't understand. And you're not following me, and so you won't learn. You just come to the one video because you just happen to type in the right words that led to my video popping up on your screen. And you checked it out and you went, I don't understand this. This is wrong. Then you leave a death threat. Then you leave. You never even watch the video. Especially to the end. Because a lot of the times my videos, I just keep going and going, and then boom, the big stuff at the end. Sometimes. Not all the time. Sometimes. Not saying this video will do that, but sometimes. And so, Mormons, if they can't understand this basic concept, that we're not literal, that we're Jewish Kabbalah. What? Wait a minute. That's different than Jewish. Good for you. You knew that. You're not going to understand my attempts to try to reveal our true Christ under the learning of the Jews. You're still stuck on Jesus, when Jesus is blatantly a fraud, an imposter, a satirical character created by Constantine out of nothing. Creatio ex nihilo. Theos creatios ex nihilos. Botched the endings there, but satire. I can do whatever I want with satire. And so, if I were to tell you about it's my grandfather's birthday, the grandfather sun god, you wouldn't have a clue what I'm talking about. And he was a carpenter, as a farmer, and built his home. And I've talked about the Teton Dam flood and how his house was the only one left standing because he's a great carpenter. Was a great carpenter. And so I am the son of a carpenter, even though he's my grandfather. And you don't have a clue of the Hebrew, where son doesn't necessarily mean a literal son, but refers to a descendant of any of the patriarchal leaders. And so when you look at the listing in both Matthew and Luke, there's some missing names, and yet they're still considered sons because of the Hebrew meaning. And if you're clueless if you don't know that. And so I am the son of the carpenter. Even though my dad also has done some carpentry work, he in our Corona home, where I went to Norco High School. And again, you're clueless about what I'm saying. You don't understand. He built my room above the dining room. And that's where I had stayed and have many tales to tell. Especially with Stacy across the way. And he also had to build the basement apartment in his Riverton home here in Utah. He intended me to build it, as we found out when we moved down here from Canada, the North Crown of the North American continent. Again, if you're not knowing and if you're not following me, you do not know what I just told you. He intended me to build it. Yes, I'm a carpenter too. Just not as much as my father and not as much as my grandfather. But yeah, because there are carpentry in our lives, we learn things from them, and so on. More so in the ancient of days where people were farmers, naturally, for survival. The fathers would teach their sons who would help with the farming and other stuff on the homestead. So the family trait or the family business was passed down from father to son. Not so much anymore. Sons get to choose their own path and their own career field nowadays. And my dad was the first to break out of that, to go to college and a university at Berkeley. And again, if you're not following my channel, you have no idea what I just told you. And that's essential to your eternal salvation. Not satire. And so, yeah, I cannot tell you what I want to tell you to save your lives, because you're stuck on literal history Jesus. So have fun with that, because this is the bicentennial year of the day that shall burn as an oven. And if you don't even know that, oh my God.